The NWC writes for cancer research, and this year we are raising funds for the project BioHPV, which is led by Dr. Judith Michels, oncologist at the Institut Gustave Roussy, and Dr. Lucy Veron, gynecologist at the Institut Gustave Roussy. I'm very curious to hear, what are we writing for?
We will start a clinical trial called BioHPV to evaluate the vaccination against the human papillomaviruses in patients that are affected with precancer within the genital and anal region in women especially, but as well in men, because we know that in France every year over 30,000 new patients are affected with HPV-related precancer. And we will run this clinical trial in 20 French centers in 1,000 patients.
What is the objective of the project?
The objective of the BioHPV study is to reduce the recurrence of these high-grade lesions by 50% in men and women, as Judith said.
And why did you choose the name BioHPV?
BioHPV because we are looking for biomarkers. Biomarkers in order to understand which are the patients that will develop a chronic infection, a persistent infection that may lead to precancer and eventually cancer. And we will focus on microbiota, and in particular on the microbiota of the vagina, because we know that if this microbiota of the vagina is dysregulated, that will induce a dysbiosis that will favor this chronic infection with viruses, with HPV. And we think that those will reduce the immune responses and allow the development of precancer and eventually cancer. And we know as well that the microbiota of the vagina has an impact on the microbiota of the sexual partner.
Does this mean the project focuses on men and women?
Yes, exactly, because HPV can cause lesions, precancerous lesions, and eventually cancer in both men and women. So that's why it is important to include all genders in this study.
So as a result, if this project succeeds and it goes well, would that mean that people like Nicola could be still around?
Within the last 8 years, we have definitely done a lot of progress in the treatment for patients affected with HPV-related cancers.